Welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm predicting round 2 of the 2026 CONCACAF World Cup Qualifiers. Predizione della Ronda 2 della Eliminatoria della Copa Mundial della CONCACAF. Group A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And I'll tell you all the advancing teams that I have. Of course, half the round will be played this June. Then a year from now, after the end of the first window, we will know how this window ends, or this round ends, and who will advance. I think we pretty much know how obvious it looks, but I will talk about it. And we have one half per each year, so this will take 12 months to decide because of Nations League. Yay. So we'll start with Group A, 5th place. The Cayman Islands, 1 point, 1 goal for, 14 goals against, minus 13 goal differential. I think everybody in this group is going to make Cayman Islands the punching bag, the legitimate punching bag. Cayman Islands, I don't like the chances they have against other teams in this group. There are 3 pretty good teams in this group. One team that's pretty similar and one trash team. Simple answer. Even though this group in comparison, there's probably one team in here that we would say would have a really good chance of going to the World Cup. There's at least a couple of okay good teams in this group that could fight for that second spot, but yeah, Cayman Islands, don't like their chances. 4th place, Antigua and Barbuda, 1 point, 2 goals for, 6 goals against, minus 4 goal differential. Yeah, they don't win games and they didn't draw anymore, but at least in the end, they didn't get so many goals scored against them and they scored 2 goals. That ain't too bad. I think their only draw was against the Cayman Islands, though, but yeah, I think they're very similar to a certain extent. But in the end, they finished 4th. 3rd place, Cuba, 7 points, 5 goals for, 7 goals against, minus 2 goal differential. Cuba's got some good players. They also have some local players that aren't as good. And to be honest, I don't think they'll be as free scoring as Bermuda, because Bermuda does have some good goal scorers. They do. They do. They just aren't able to cross that final hurdle. Cuba, on the other hand, they're good, probably better defensively, or at least at the same level. But goal scoring wise, I don't think they have it. I don't think they have it as much. They may have a better goalkeeper, Raiko Rosarena. Defensively, they could probably fight. Goal scoring, I don't think they have it as much as Bermuda does, which was why Bermuda finishes 2nd. 7 points, 10 goals for, 5 goals against, 5 plus 5 goal differential. Had them losing to Honduras. They beat Antigua and Cayman. I think they drew to Cuba. Sadly enough, they score enough goals that it's enough to put them to the 3rd round. Do I like their chances in that 3rd round? No. They're probably going to get slapped up. But it's the first they've ever gotten, so good for them. But they have the goal scoring to probably get them there. I'd say most of that goals against for Cuba came from Honduras too, but when you draw 2-2 or whatever, yeah, that'll probably put you out. Honduras, 12 points, 14 goals for, 1 goal against, plus 13 goal differential. I like what they're doing under Coach Rueda. They're a strong team. They're finding their way forward. They're building a good new era. They're coming out of their doldrums. I think they did get slapped up by Costa Rica in the Copa America playoff repechaje. But I do like what I see from Honduras overall. And against these 4 teams, they should win all those games. Maybe Davy Flores plays the level he did at Toronto, or is at Toronto when he plays during the window. Hope he does. and doesn't get hurt, because we don't want him to get hurt either. At least I don't. But he is having a really good season, so hopefully. They got some good goal scorers. They got a good defensive team. They got a good coach. They should easily win this group and walk it. Group B. Group B, 5th place, Bahamas. 0 points, 0 goals for, 14 goals against, minus 14 goal differential. I mean, when you see who else is in this group, are we really surprised? No. 4th place, St. Kitts and Nevis. 4 points, 5 goals for, 6 goals against, minus 1 goal differential. They did fall back down to League C in the Nations League, but they had a good Gold Cup last year. They do have a solid team, as Grenada also does. Trinidad's better than solid, and Costa Rica, well, looks like things are working out for them. But St. Kitts and Nevis, they're going to beat Bahamas. I think they'll draw Grenada, but they're not as free scoring, and they didn't score as many goals, which is why they finished 4th. But, you know, I think that's a fair result for St. Kitts. I think they're going to fight their way through this group. I don't think they're going to be a walkover. I think they'll be a team that can fight. But will they do more than 4 points? No. Grenada, 3rd place Grenada, 4 points, 10 goals for, 11 goals against, minus 1 goal differential. Now, why is Grenada 3rd? They have some really good players and they play open football. Like, they know they probably shouldn't, and they know they probably don't have the firepower to beat bigger teams, but they play open football. And I think that's why they score 10 goals. But that also makes them concede 11. But they did score more goals than St. Kitts, which puts them 3rd place. But again, beat Bahamas, draw St. Kitts, and I think it's because it's in St. Kitts is why. Yeah, I said that. But Grenada, they're a good team. They play open football. They never give up, you know. They don't give up. They play good games. They could keep their heads held high at the end of this. 2nd place, Trinidad and Tobago, 9 points, 10 goals for, 4 goals against, plus 6 goal differential. They beat everybody else, but they lose to Costa Rica because the game's in Costa Rica. Do you think Trinidad's going to win a game in Costa Rica a year from now? No. And Costa Rica should be better by the time that next game comes up, or that game does come up with this, what's the word? Generational shift. Trinidad's going to walk everybody else, though. Sadly enough, Tyrese Spicer can't play 2 of the games because they want him to recover his toe injury. Toronto, of course. That he's been playing with for a couple of months. Sucks because Tyrese Spicer legitimately might have added a live wire to the Trinidad team. Now, if he's playing against Costa Rica, who knows? Maybe. But I think 2nd, fair. 1st place, Costa Rica, 12 points, 11 goals for, 2 goals against, plus 9 goal differential. No Navas, no problem. They're doing the on the fly, doing the generational shift that they needed to do 3 years ago, or post-World Cup. Why'd I say 3? Whatever. A year and a half ago, right? Post-World Cup, 2 years ago. But they waited a year, tried to give a final swan song at the Gold Cup, which is a stupid idea. Navas is gone. Probably Menjivar is the starter. Celso Borges, gone. Brown Ruiz, gone. Johan Venegas, I haven't heard yet, but he's probably on his way out. He's probably the last one standing, if not, but he's probably on his way out. But yeah, Costa Rica got a really good young team. They're in the Copa. They'll be playing their first 2 games before the Copa. They'll be in the Copa. They'll be in Nations League. And things will keep going as is. They have a lot of time to gel. They'll probably do enough in the first 2 games against easy teams. Really, their only challenge is Trinidad. I could see Grenada being a little bit of a challenge, but Costa Rica gets it done, 1st place. Group C. Halfway through. Well, after this, we will be halfway through. 5th place, St. Lucia, 0 points, 0 goals for, 10 goals against, minus 10 goal differential. Yeah, they're going to be the punching bags of this group. No more, no less. Aruba, 4 points. 3 goals for, 6 goals against, minus 3 goal differential. They beat St. Lucia. They draw Barbados. Aruba showed positive signs the last qualifying cycle in the last Nations League. They've shown positive signs. They've shown that they're competent, which I think is enough to draw Barbados beat St. Lucia. It's competent, but is it enough to finish top 2 in this group? No. Third place, Barbados, 4 points. 4 points, 4 goal differential, 4 goals scored, 7 goals against, -3 goal differential. They're ahead on goals scored. Again, beat St. Lucia, draw Aruba. Similar situation. There's quality on the team, but they've had positive shows. But they're not as good as the other 2 teams. But they're better than St. Lucia. So they're down the middle. Second place, Curacao. 9 points. 7 goals for, 2 goals against, +5 goal differential. Curacao might not be as good as we think going into this qualifier cycle. What I do know is they're good enough to beat St. Lucia, Aruba, and Barbados. They have the quality on the team to do that. Ergo second. First place, though, is Haiti. Haiti finishes first, 12 points, 12 goals for, 1 goal against, +11 goal differential. It's a 2-1 win for Haiti against Curacao in that final, or the game that matters, the decider. Derek Etienne Jr., I think, will have a really good group stage. I think so. Haiti's got really talented players. They got a good team. They've been growing very steadily. This is a group they could easily win. I think they'll get it done. Haiti finishes first. Group D, 5th place. Montserrat. 0 points, 0 goals for, 7 goals against, -7 goal differential. Again, obvious punching bag of the group against some other teams here that I think they would definitely lose to. Guyana beats Montserrat to get 3 points, 2 goals for, 7 goals against, -5 goal differential. Loses to everybody else, but Guyana does have some quality on their team. I don't think they're better than Belize. I think Belize is growing. Belizean football is growing. Guyana is sort of stalling out, but I could see that being different. Third place, Belize. 6 points, 5 goals for, 3 goals against, +3 goal differential. That would be +2. Was that supposed to be a 6? Either way. +2 goal differential, my bad. Belize will beat Montserrat. And Guyana. But Belize is a good team. They got a good side. They got a good side. They could get it done. They could get to third place. Must have missed that extra point. Second place, Nakrawa. 7 points, 8 goals for, 4 goals against, +4 goal differential. Even though they got forcefully relegated back to League B, they got back up to League A. They got talented players if they play legal players that are allowed to play. They got good players. They're good enough to finish top 2 in this group. Simple as. Again, Belize probably could shock them, but they have the goal differential. I think I put an extra point. I missed putting an extra point on Belize. That's my bad. So they got 7 points, but they're down on goal differential, +2. And then 4 +4. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, by goal differential, but still they have a good enough team to get it done. We'll see what happens. First place, Panama, 12 points. They win every game. 9 goals for, 1 goal against, +8 goal differential. Christensen's got them rolling. They're still a great team. Why would they not finish first? Against these groups, why wouldn't they finish first? If they didn't, I'd be worried. Panama finishes first. Christensen will absolutely basically just waltz them into the third round. Don't know about waltzing them to the World Cup, or that being that easy, but he'll waltz them to the third round. Group E, the British Virgin Islands, 0 points, 1 goal for, 12 goals against, minus 11 goal differential. They barely got out of the first round. There ain't no way they get more than a point. They ain't getting a point. At least they've played a couple of games. They can feel like they won something, unlike some of the other punching bags. But they're not getting a point. Fourth place, Dominica, 3 points, 2 goals for, 13 goals against, minus 11 goal differential. They beat the BVI, still got pumped. But they beat the BVI, so they finish above them. Dominican Republic in third, 6 points, 8 goals for, 5 goals against, plus 3 goal differential. They beat the bottom 2 teams. They lose to the top 2 teams. Dominican Republic football has been really growing. They could pull a shock, but I think both games are in Guatemala and Jamaica. That's the problem. They're not winning on the road. Against a resurgent Guatemala side who's playing well under Tena, and a Jamaican side who damn near beat the USA, who's been playing very well recently, who has staked their claim as maybe top 3 or top 4 in CONCACAF, depending on what Jesse Marsh does with Canada. And you could say they're in that Canada, USA, Mexico, Panama grouping. Guatemala's not yet, but Dominican Republic is not going to beat Guatemala, and they sure ain't going to beat Jamaica, and I think that's what's going to do it, or even draw them, and I think that's what's going to doom them to third place, but they put on a good performance to get there. Second place, Guatemala, 9 points, 10 goals for, 3 goals against, plus 7 goal differential. It's a pretty good play for Guatemala. They win against every team under them. They lose to Jamaica because I think Jamaica just has the way better quality side. Now, you could say 1-0 at the Gold Cup, but yeah, is it going to be a tough win for Jamaica? Probably. But again, they have a lot of quality on their team. Jamaica should get it done, which leads me to say Jamaica first place, 12 points, 14 goals for, 2 goals against, plus 12 goal differential. They're going to stomp their way to the third round in this group. They're going to stomp their way on forward. I don't really see them not easily winning this group. I think Guatemala, again, will be the hardest challenge, but even with a draw, the goal differential they're going to put up would still win them the group. Guatemala has to win to knock Jamaica off the top spot. That's just the straight up facts. And I don't see that happening. I really don't. Group F, finally, the final group of the second round. Fifth place, Anguilla, another first round qualifier. 1 point, 1 goal for, 10 goals against, minus 9 goal differential. It's the draw against St. Vincent that gets them that go and that win, or that point. I think St. Vincent is also worse than Dominica. Speaking of first round qualifiers being the bottom of the groups, Anguilla is last place on 1 worse on their goal differential. Fourth place, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 1 point, 2 goals for, 10 goals against, minus 8 goal differential. They're not much better, but by goal differential, I guess they are. Fourth place. Third place, Puerto Rico, 6 points, 6 goals for, 4 goals against, plus 2 goal differential. Again, Puerto Rico's a team that's upgrading. They're good. They're getting better. Sadly enough, they're not good enough to beat El Salvador or Suriname. I do not think El Salvador is going to have a fracasso and not get out of this group. I think they got a really softball group that saves them from doing that. But Puerto Rico, they'll put a little bit of heat on them, but I think it'll be a tough game when they play each other. But El Salvador will still probably get it done. Second place is El Salvador, 9 points, 7 goals for, 2 goals against, plus 5 goal differential. Now that's the fracasso. I think El Salvador is finishing second in this group. I do not think they are ready to win this group, but good for them. Top 2 in each group move on to round 3. So the fracasso is finishing second, not getting knocked out in the second round. It's still embarrassing, but I think El Salvador fans know that even if they draw Suriname, their defense, their goal scoring is not good enough to overtake the goal differential that Suriname will put up, or the goals that they will put up. I think Suriname's a better offensive side, and I don't think they're going to hold goals from anybody else of the bottom three. Now, El Salvador, they may. Do I still think it's more likely that's a draw? Yes, or a 1-0 win? I could see it. I think Suriname beats El Salvador. I think that's the best forward line that El Salvador will face in this tournament, or in this round, in their group. I think Suriname will get it done. El Salvador's defense isn't bad, but it isn't great. It just gets the job done. Now you could say, but they kept Messi quiet. True, but they also got stomped out by Argentina. They got stuff to work on, even if things are looking more positive. By the way, they haven't won a game in 2 years. That's probably about to change. Let's not forget, that still sucks. First place, Suriname, 12 points, 9 goals for, 0 goals against, +9 goal differential. I think they have the best offense in this group. Their defense might not be great, but I don't think they have to worry about holding goals from again, the bottom three. El Salvador, they might. But even then, with the goal differential they put up, 9-2 would still be 7 goal differential plus. They would still win the group, even with a draw. I think Suriname wins the group. That's my bold take. Advancing teams to round 3. Group A, Honduras, Bermuda. Group B, Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago. Group C, Haiti, Curacao. Group D, Panama, Nicaragua. Group E, Jamaica, Guatemala. Group F, Suriname and El Salvador. So those are the 12 teams moving on in my book to round 3 in September of 2025 and for that rest of that year. It's going to be an interesting situation. Of course, they'll redraw the groups going into the 3rd round for the 3 rounds. So who knows? I can't really predict who's the teams that are going to get stomped out in round 3 and who will go through, or who even will go to the playoff. I can't predict that yet because we don't know what the groups will look like. Jamaica might get a hard group. Panama might get a hard group. Who knows? But what we do know is the top 3 in round 3 move on automatically to the World Cup to join Canada, USA, and Mexico. The 2 best runners-up will go to the playoff to see if they could add another spot for CONCACAF. We'll find out about that. But that we'll know in March of 2026, how the playoff goes. But with that being said, and who will be going in November of 2025. So we got a lot to go through. Doesn't seem like much, but we got a lot to go through. But there you go. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put us in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. This week, I have to be a little bit less busy than I want. 1 game tomorrow, live and review. Trinidad versus Grenada. Wednesday, I'll be live for Canada versus the Netherlands. Netherlands versus Canada live RSR. I will be live for the Central American Cup draw on Wednesday. On Thursday, the day off in between both little match days for the World Cup qualifiers, I will recap the Caribbean Cup and Central American Cup draw, so we'll save that for the next day, Thursday or Friday. Again, I think it's only 1 game Saturday, and then Sunday we have 2 games, which I think is the next day Canada plays. But 1 game each on Thursday and Friday. So, there you go. That should be fun. With that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Let's have some fun with Trinidad, Grenada. And there you go. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you.